Africa, a continent that holds nearly a quarter of the world's land surface, is facing an escalating ecological crisis. While climate is often named as the main culprit, the deeper issue lies in how we manage and interact with the land, particularly the veld. Poor veld management has left large parts of Africa highly vulnerable to degradation. The real problem isn't just the climate, it's our failure to prepare, to adapt, and to build resilience. Satellite images show clearly how the continent is inching towards desertification. Once thriving grasslands are now becoming barren dust, but this isn't simply because of less rainfall. Even in wetter years, the land struggles to retain water, with sparse vegetation allowing moisture to evaporate almost immediately. Across much of Africa, veld makes up majority of the available grazing land and is estimated that around 65% of Africa's land is veld. For many farms, this is the cheapest and most reliable source of bulk forage. Whether for beef, goats, sheep or mixed systems, veld keeps livestock fed without relying too heavily on purchased inputs. But its performance depends on almost entirely how it's managed. On the ground, many farmers are underperforming, not because of genetics or input costs, but because grazing lands can't hold water and it's losing its carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is simply the amount of land needed to sustain one animal for a year without damaging the veld. It's the measure that keeps long-term productivity in check. For example, a farm may need 5 hectares per cow to maintain both the animal and the land's health. Different regions and biomes vary in South Africa's savannas. There are 6 bioregions, each with its own sustainable carrying range. One of them is the Limpopo Sweet Bush Veld. Here, land typically supports around 5 to 8 hectares per cow. When a farm's carrying capacity drops, the same land can hold fewer animals without suffering damage. Across the world, about a quarter of the grazing land has been lost, and at least 25% of its carrying capacity is diminishing. The impact is felt immediately: more money spent on bought-in feed and lower farm output. Keeping or improving carrying capacity keeps the head size steady. That means consistent returns and stronger resilience through dry spells. Old management patterns of rotating livestock or leaving land to rest weren't just old traditions. They worked because they matched how the land responds. Today, fences and tighter property lines have changed the scale, but the principle still applies. Now, only it's used in smaller blocks. The goal isn't to cover more land, it's to get more from the land that is already in use. Much of South Africa still holds huge potential to produce food, to keep farms profitable, and to maintain productivity for generations. The grassland biome is one of the most important. It's the second largest in the country, with 5 bioregions spread mainly across higher-lying eastern regions. Soils here leach moderately to heavy. Fertility management is essential, and in areas like KwaZulu-Natal, many farms are well suited for livestock production. And keeping veld at its full carrying capacity means stable sizes, consistent returns, and better resilience during dry spells. As livestock enterprises expand, some of this natural grass veld will inevitably be converted to pastures. These areas often have relatively abundant moisture, especially where fertilizer is used, allowing for good forage growth. However, much of this biome also lies within the catchment areas of major rivers that supply water to both agriculture and industry, rivers such as the Vaal River and the Tugela River. That makes vegetation stability a top priority. Any move to intensify production or replace natural grass veld with higher yielding pastures must also protect soil stability to avoid long-term productivity losses. Balancing pasture improvement with soil production means more feed per hectare, without sacrificing the land's future earning power. Getting the veld management right isn't about transitioning, it's about working with what the land already wants to do: grow, rest and recover. When that cycle is supported, the farm operation becomes more resilient and productive from ground up. There are many farms across South Africa losing productivity. The causes are often the same: overgrazing, climate and fire. Overgrazing sparks bush encroachment. Shrinking plant cover invites more fires, meant for control, but they flush seed and reduce species richness. All of these cost livestock productivity. Without enough cover, rain strikes bare soil and runs off or evaporates fast. It's a slow process, but over time it adds up. On many communal lands, clearing is still done with hand tools like axes or machetes. While affordable, these are labor-intensive and slow. Where budgets allow, targeted spraying is often used to prevent coppicing, sometimes combined with mechanical clearing, which can extend benefits for up to 20 years. In places like Namibia, where bush encroachment affects roughly 70% of agricultural land, farmers using chainsaws or brush cutters can clear up to 1 to 2 hectares per day. This kind of work can boost grass biomass by up to 30% within a year, giving pastures a noticeable lift in carrying capacity, not just pastures but also veld. More grass biomass means more grazing days, fewer bought-in feeds and higher stocking rate without damaging the land. There are many practical ways to bring degraded veld back into strong productive conditions. Techniques such as bush encroachment control, reseeding, grazing management, rangeland enclosures, and prescribed fires can each play a role in improving forage quality and quantity. When applied correctly, these methods not only just restore carrying capacity, but also reduce input costs, stabilize livestock production, and improve long-term farm profitability.